The consultation exercise endorsed the approach we'd previously taken, but it did cause us to refocus, and in particular to refocus on the acts or motives of the suspect rather than the characteristics of the victim. So, for example, whether the suspect was wholly motivated by compassion becomes really a central feature of the policy, whereas the question of whether or not the victim was terminally ill or very seriously disabled is no longer a relevant factor.
People like Debbie Purdy, who've campaigned for changes, we understand are pretty pleased with what you've announced today. But conversely, there are some people who fear that you are going to be making assisted suicide more likely, easier. And essentially, I mean, some people are saying that you're really going to open the door to euthanasia. What would you say to allay the fears of those critics?
Well, I don't accept that. We've clarified the way in which we take our decisions. But can I be absolutely clear about this? This policy is a policy for assisted suicide. It does not cover acts that are either murder or manslaughter, i.e. so-called mercy killings or euthanasia. I was not required to publish a policy in that area of the law. I have not done so, and therefore there's no change whatsoever.
But there are fears from groups. For example, this is Richard Hawkes of the group Scope saying that we know that many disabled people are genuinely frightened about any changes which risk weakening the protection offered by existing law. So what would you say to people like that who do have genuine fears that what you've announced today does weaken the law?
Well, a lot of those fears were expressed in the consultation, and we've considered them very carefully. One of the reasons we took out as a relevant factor the fact that an individual had a terminal illness or a severe disability was because those who feared that they might be vulnerable were concerned about the message that might give. So we've taken that out to make it clear that the protection of the law applies absolutely to everyone, whatever their state of health. And can I just add this? In each of these cases, there will always be a very careful investigation and a very careful evaluation of the evidence. I understand the concerns on both sides of the argument. This is a sensitive area, but we take each case as it comes and after the most careful investigation, the most careful consideration.